welcome to the deep dive. So, you sent us this YouTube transcript, right? Breaking down that Lakers-Timberwolves game.
Yeah, and let's just say the initial takes were pretty intense.
Totally.
Okay.
So our job today really is to kind of cut through that immediate buzz. Let's try and pull out the real insights, what does this game actually tell us? Maybe hint at the rest of the series.
Exactly. Get past the hot takes.
We know you want the substance without, feeling buried in stats. So let's dive in.
Okay, well, right off the bat, the commentator holds nothing back, literally says the Lakers got their ass kicked.
Wow. Okay. Setting the tone early.
And straight away, they point to this one stat that really jumps out, fast break points. Timberwolves had 25.
Okay.
The Lakers, 6. Just 6.
25-6. That's a huge gap. That's not just a couple of missed assignments, is it?
No, it screams a breakdown, like a fundamental issue with their transition defense, getting back, setting up. Something went badly wrong there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Is it hustle? Is it their offensive sets leaving them, exposed on the rebound? Or maybe both?
Definitely raises flags about their whole defensive approach. And moving beyond just the fast breaks, the transcript brings up another, maybe even more glaring thing.
Which was?
Minnesota's three-point shooting. Just nuts. They went 19 of 27 from 3.
19 makes is huge.
That's huge.
That's a barrage.
But here's the kicker. The analysis said 19 of those makes were wide open.
Wait, 19 wide open threes. Not just 19 makes, but 19 uncontested.
That's what the source says. 19 wide open looks. It's kind of staggering, really. How does that happen defensively in a, professional playoff game?
Exactly. You tip your cap if a team is hitting tough shots over hands. But 19 free looks, that signals, major problems. Rotations, communication, something's broken there.
Or maybe the whole scheme is flawed, yeah.
Could be. And then on the other side of the ball, the Lakers themselves, well, they weren't exactly lighting it up.
Held to 40% shooting from the field overall and only 37% from 3. Pretty pedestrian numbers.
So just an off night shooting. Or was it something Minnesota did?
Well, this is interesting. The commentator links it directly to the Timberwolves' defense, specifically their length.
Okay.
They mention that Minnesota's long defenders, guys like McDaniels, really seem to bother players like Austin Reeves. AR?
Right, AR. He needs space to operate, doesn't he?
Exactly. So if that length is disrupting him, making it harder to get clean looks or make plays, well, that jams up the Lakers' offense quite a bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's critical for them.
Yeah.
And that leads into the individual stuff, the matchups, which is always where these post-game breakdowns go.
For sure. And the transcript points out, LeBron and AR didn't have great games here, especially when you maybe compare it to how, say, Luka Doncic has played against the T-Wolves defense before.
Interesting comparison. The expectation is obviously higher for LeBron and AR.
Definitely. And there was one specific defensive matchup the commentator questioned, AR guarding Julius Randle.
Ooh, okay. Randall's got the size advantage there, for sure.
Yeah, flagged as a physical mismatch. And, if that's a matchup the Wolves they're probably going back to it, right?
Absolutely. That's playoff basketball. Exploit the weakness until the other team adjusts. Puts a lot of pressure on the Lakers' help defense, too.
And it wasn't just Randall creating mismatch problems. They mentioned Naz Reid, too.
Oh, yeah? Reid can shoot it.
Exactly. A big guy who can step out and hit threes, that's always a tough cover for traditional defensive schemes. Adds another layer of complexity for the Lakers' D.
So versatility from Minnesota. And the transcript also gives props to their overall defense, right? Mentions McDaniels, Randall, Reid again.
Yeah, emphasizes their collective ability to lock people down. Seems like that pressure was a big reason the Lakers' offense kind of stalled out.
Okay, let's shift to Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. Lots of focus on him in this breakdown.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting is he didn't even shoot the ball that well in this game.
Right, wasn't like a huge scoring explosion from them.
No, but he had 9 assists. 9.
Okay, 9 assists is solid. What's the interpretation there?
The commentator sees it as, growth, maturity, making the right basketball play, trusting teammates, even when his own shot isn't falling. It's not just about him getting buckets.
That's actually kind of scary if you're the Lakers. A star player impacting the game heavily, even without scoring efficiently.
And here's maybe the scariest part for LA fans. The Lakers got beat this badly. And Edwards sat out a whole quarter with cramps.
He missed a quarter. Wow. So it could have been worse.
That's the implication. The commentator suggests the final score might have looked even uglier if Ant-Man had played the whole game.
Yikes, that really puts the loss in perspective.
And this all feeds into the discussion about his mentality, his competitiveness.
Right.
The commentator brings up his battles against Kevin Durant in the past, suggests Edwards sees this series against LeBron, and the transcript actually says Luka here, likely meaning the Lakers stars.
Uh-huh. Okay, Luka. Got it. So he sees this Lakers matchup as what?
As an even bigger stage, a bigger opportunity to make his mark. Like, taking down LeBron and this Lakers team means more.
Quite a statement. Puts a target on their backs, doesn't it? Shows you the kind of challenge they're facing in Edwards. He's not just happy to be there.
Not at all. The transcript uses the word greedy for his mentality in a competitive way,
Yeah.
Determined. Wants to win both road games to start the series. That's serious confidence.
That kind of mindset can really lift a whole team.
And the commentator doubles down, basically saying that beating this Lakers team would be a bigger deal for Edwards' legacy right now than beating Durant and Booker last year.
Wow. Okay. So the stakes feel incredibly high, at least in Edwards' mind, according to this analysis.
It seems that way.
Okay, changing lanes slightly. The transcript mentions something about the Lakers having these, really bad quarters that kind of doom them.
Yeah, a concerning trend, apparently. In this game, it was the second quarter. They actually had a 7-point lead after the first.
They were leading.
Yep. Then, boom, outscored 38-20 in the second. Lead gone, momentum totally shifted.
38-20. That's a collapse.
Ugh.
What does that suggest? Lack of focus, inconsistency.
Could be any of those. Maybe relaxing with the lead. Whatever it is, those kinds of swings are just brutal in the playoffs. You can't afford to switch off like that.
No kidding. So, putting it all together, how bad does the commentator think this loss actually is for the Lakers? Like, scale of 1 to 10.
They put it at a 7, so pretty severe, but maybe not. Like a 10 alarm fire.
Okay, a 7. Why not higher, given everything we've discussed?
Well, the context is that Minnesota is good. They have real potential, and the Lakers, they came into the series with known issues around defense and size. So while the loss stings, it wasn't seen as this massive, massive upset against a huge underdog.
Right, it wasn't a total shock. Minnesota has talent. That feels reasonable, actually. Still a big wake-up call, though.
Definitely a wake-up call. The discussion also briefly touched on Rudy Gobert.
Oh, yeah. What about him?
His playing time, only 24 minutes. And whether the Lakers maybe expected a different defensive look from the Wolves because of Gobert.
Like maybe Minnesota would pull Gobert out to the perimeter more? Try to adjust based on past matchup?
Something like that. The commentator sort of hints the Lakers might have prepared for certain adjustments, maybe ways to attack Gobert differently, but Minnesota largely just stuck with their usual defensive plan.
So the Wolves didn't change much, and the Lakers maybe expected them to.
That seems to be the gist. Minnesota didn't feel the need to drastically alter their successful schemes, and it worked.
Interesting wrinkle. So the final word from the commentator, pretty blunt, I imagine.
Yep, sums it up basically as, the Lakers got problems. This series won't be easy, period.
Yeah, that sounds about right based on this breakdown. Rough start.
It really pulls together the main themes. Big defensive issues for LA, especially on threes and in transition. Key guys underperforming, and then Anthony Edwards just looking like a massive, massive problem, both his game and his whole attitude.
Okay, so for everyone listening, let's boil this down. Key takeaways from digging into this analysis. Lakers took a pretty heavy loss. Defense was leaky, especially defending the three-point line and getting back. Key players didn't step up enough.
And Anthony Edwards is looking like the real deal, a major threat who's fired up for this matchup.
Right. So that leaves us and you with the big question moving forward, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Thinking about everything we just unpacked. What adjustments can the Lakers realistically make, strategically, individually? How do they counter what the Timberwolves do well, and specifically, how do they slow down Ant-Man?
And maybe more fundamentally, what did this one game truly reveal? Does it set the tone for the whole series, or was it just, one bad night, something to chew on as this series unfolds?